Johnny Carson, known for his late-night TV show, was a witty and charismatic host. However, some of his jokes were met with disappointment, as they targeted people with what seemed like silly insults. Despite his passing 18 years ago, his image and the rumors surrounding his personal life remain fresh in the audience's memory. The actor's impact on late-night television is still a topic of interest among older adults. Carson's show, a classic in its own right, was a staple of late-night TV for many years. His unique style of humor and interviewing set the stage for future hosts. However, it was not just his professional life that intrigued his audience. The actor's personal life, shrouded in mystery and rumors, added to his allure. Despite the occasional misstep, Carson's show remained a favorite among viewers. The actor's ability to bounce back from any controversy was a testament to his enduring appeal. Even today, his impact on popular culture is still felt, and his show continues to be a topic of discussion among older adults. In the end, it was Carson's wit, charisma, and ability to connect with his audience that made him a beloved figure in the world of television. His impact on the medium is still felt today, and his legacy continues to inspire new generations of TV hosts. Whether it's his professional or personal life, the actor's image remains etched in the memories of his fans, a testament to his enduring appeal. Johnny Carson, renowned as a beloved television icon, had a darker side that emerged in his interactions with those around him. The actor, who hosted The Tonight Show for 30 years, was known for his quick wit and charm on screen. However, behind the scenes, there were instances of Carson treating people with disrespect, revealing a less admirable facet of his personality. Despite his public image as a likable and friendly figure, some of Carson's colleagues and staff members described him as being aloof and distant. He was often seen as difficult to approach and could be dismissive of those around him. According to some reports, Carson could be verbally abusive to his staff, using harsh language and insults to belittle and demean them. One former employee of The Tonight Show recalled an incident where Carson became angry with a staff member for making a mistake. The actor reportedly berated the employee in front of their colleagues, using foul language and humiliating them in the process. This type of behavior was not uncommon on the set of the show, and many employees learned to tread lightly around Carson to avoid triggering his temper. Carson's personal life was also marked by controversy and scandal. The actor was married 4 times, and his relationships with women were often tumultuous. He was known to have a wandering eye and was rumored to have had numerous affairs throughout his marriages. Despite this, Carson was often guarded about his personal life and rarely spoke about his relationships in public. In addition to his personal issues, Carson also struggled with addiction. The actor was known to have a drinking problem, and his alcohol consumption often contributed to his mood swings and volatile behavior. Despite seeking treatment for his addiction, Carson continued to struggle with his demons throughout his life. Despite these challenges, Carson remained a beloved figure in American culture. His contributions to television and comedy are still celebrated today, and he is remembered as one of the greatest talk show hosts of all time. However, the darker side of his personality serves as a reminder that even the most beloved public figures are not always what they seem. In the end, Johnny Carson's legacy is a complex one. While he brought joy and laughter to millions of people, he also struggled with personal demons and was known to treat those around him with disrespect. As we look back on his career and life, it is important to remember both the good and the bad, and to recognize that even the most iconic figures are human, with all the flaws and imperfections that entails. During Johnny Carson's honeymoon in 1987, with his 4th wife Alexis Moss, the couple set sail for Italy on a luxurious yacht trip. The actor, known for his charisma and charm on screen, had expectations of a joyous and romantic journey. However, the atmosphere quickly took a turn as Carson's behavior shifted from affectionate to distant and cold. The honeymoon, meant to be a celebration of love and new beginnings, became a time of tension and unease. Carson's demeanor was far from the loving and attentive husband one might expect during such a special occasion. Instead, he became increasingly distant and difficult to approach. Despite the beautiful surroundings and the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to explore the Italian coastline, Carson's mood put a damper on the trip. The couple's interactions were strained, and the joy and excitement that typically accompany a honeymoon were nowhere to be found. The reasons behind Carson's sudden change in behavior remain unclear. However, the impact on the couple's honeymoon was significant. The trip, which should have been a time of celebration and joy, was instead marked by tension and unease. In the end, the honeymoon was a stark contrast to the image of Carson that the public had come to know and love. The actor, known for his quick wit and charming personality, was replaced by a distant and cold figure. The incident serves as a reminder that even those in the public eye are not immune to the challenges and struggles that can arise in relationships. In a particularly uncomfortable incident, the actor Johnny Carson publicly embarrassed his new wife. This unfortunate event took place shortly after their wedding, when they were still in the early stages of marital bliss. The catalyst for this embarrassing situation was an innocent remark made by someone else, which the actor apparently misconstrued or did not appreciate. In response to this remark, the actor turned to his new wife and issued a stern warning in front of others. His tone was harsh and unyielding, leaving little room for misunderstanding. He told her, "We've been married for 3 weeks. If you say something like that again, this marriage won't last another 3 weeks." The impact of these words was immediate and devastating. His wife was humiliated and hurt by his public rebuke, and those who witnessed the exchange were left feeling shocked and saddened by the actor's behavior. Despite the apparent happiness of their recent nuptials, it seemed that all was not well in the actor's personal life. Looking back on this incident, it is clear that the actor's actions were both thoughtless and cruel. To publicly shame someone in this way, especially a loved one, is never acceptable. While everyone has moments of anger and frustration, it is how we choose to express these emotions that defines us as people. In this case, the actor's choice to lash out in public reflected poorly on him, and likely caused lasting damage to his relationship with his wife. It is worth noting that the actor's career was marked by many successes and accolades. However, even the most talented and successful individuals can make mistakes in their personal lives. This incident serves as a reminder that even those who seem to have it all can struggle with issues of anger, jealousy, and insecurity. By examining incidents like this one, we can learn valuable lessons about the importance of treating others with kindness, respect, and compassion, regardless of our own circumstances or status. Johnny Carson's personal life was often marked by strain, particularly within his own family. The actor, known for his role as the host of The Tonight Show, had a complex relationship with his family, and this was perhaps most evident in his relationship with his son, Rick Carson. Carson was married 4 times over the course of his life, but it was only with his first wife, Jody Walcott, that he had children. Together, they had 3 sons, including Rick. Despite the challenges that Rick would face in his life, Carson and Walcott remained close to him, and the actor did his best to support his son through his struggles. Rick Carson faced significant challenges in his life, particularly in the form of mental illness. This is a topic that was often kept hush during those years, and as a result, Rick's struggles were often kept private. However, the impact of his mental health on his life and his relationship with his father was significant. As Rick's mental health declined, he was eventually confined to a mental hospital. This was a difficult time for both Rick and his family, and Carson struggled to come to terms with his son's illness. Despite the challenges, however, Carson remained committed to supporting his son and ensuring that he received the care that he needed. In the end, the relationship between Johnny Carson and his son Rick was a complex and challenging one, marked by the struggles of mental illness and the difficulties of family dynamics. However, despite these challenges, Carson remained committed to his son and worked to support him in any way that he could. This is just one example of the complexities of the actor's personal life, and a reminder of the challenges that many families face when dealing with mental illness. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, experienced a difficult period in his life due to his estrangement from his son, Rick. The reasons behind their falling out are unclear, but it may have been due to Rick's personal struggles and the embarrassment or inability of Johnny to cope with the situation. Their relationship became strained, and Johnny chose to distance himself from Rick during this challenging time. The estrangement lasted for several years, and it seemed that the father and son had lost touch with each other. However, in June of 1991, tragedy struck when Rick's vehicle went off a cliff near Morro Bay, California, resulting in a fatal 125 feet fall. This unfortunate incident deeply affected Johnny, and he decided to speak about his son on his show, providing a rare glimpse into their troubled relationship. During the show, Johnny expressed his love for Rick and shared his sadness over his untimely death. He spoke about Rick's struggles and the difficulties they faced in their relationship. Johnny's heartfelt tribute provided a poignant moment on the show, and it was clear that the loss of his son had a profound impact on him. The estrangement and Rick's death were undoubtedly challenging periods in Johnny's life. However, his tribute to his son demonstrated his love and affection for him, even in the face of their troubled relationship. It was a rare moment of vulnerability from the actor, who was known for his humor and wit on The Tonight Show. The actor Johnny Carson and Rick, another individual, were both known for their drinking habits. At NBC's 25th anniversary party, held aboard the Queen Mary, their tumultuous relationship came to a head in a drunken confrontation. Witnesses recall that Rick, in his inebriated state, attracted the ire of Johnny Carson. The actor's aggressive behavior was on full display as he shouted at his son, highlighting the tension between the two. The confrontation between Johnny Carson and Rick was not the first instance of their tumultuous relationship, but it was certainly one of the most public. The actor's aggressive behavior towards his son was a shocking sight for the partygoers, who had expected a night of celebration. Despite the incident, Johnny Carson's career and legacy remained untarnished. He continued to be a beloved figure in the entertainment industry, known for his quick wit and charm. However, the confrontation on the Queen Mary served as a reminder of the actor's human side, with all its flaws and imperfections. In the end, the confrontation between Johnny Carson and Rick was a brief moment in the actor's long and successful career. It did not define him, but it did add a layer of complexity to his public persona. For fans of this classic actor, it serves as a reminder that even the most talented and successful individuals are not immune to human weaknesses and conflicts. Johnny Carson, the beloved host of The Tonight Show, faced numerous rumors throughout his life, and one of the most persistent was his struggle with alcoholism. The actor's penchant for drinking was no secret, and it often fueled his anger and aggression when under the influence. Carson's drinking problem was not a well-kept secret in Hollywood. In fact, it was widely known among his colleagues and friends. Despite this, Carson was able to maintain his composure and professionalism while hosting The Tonight Show. However, behind the scenes, his struggles with alcohol were apparent. The actor's temper was notorious, and he was known to lash out at those around him when under the influence. This behavior caused tension and discomfort among his staff and crew. Despite this, Carson's talent and charisma kept audiences captivated for over 3 decades. Carson's drinking problem was not a new development. He had struggled with alcoholism for many years before he became a household name. In fact, his drinking was a contributing factor to the end of his first marriage. Despite his struggles, Carson was able to keep his addiction at bay for many years, but it eventually caught up with him. In the late 1970s, Carson's drinking became more frequent and more problematic. He would often show up to work hungover, and his behavior became increasingly erratic. Eventually, his addiction became too much to ignore, and he sought help. Carson entered rehab in 1981, and he was able to get his addiction under control. He remained sober for the rest of his life, and he continued to host The Tonight Show for another 15 years. Despite his struggles with alcoholism, Carson's legacy as a television icon remains intact. He will always be remembered for his quick wit, his charm, and his ability to make audiences laugh. However, his story also serves as a reminder of the dangers of addiction and the importance of seeking help when needed. Subsequently, the public became acutely aware of these issues in 1982, when the actor was apprehended for drunk driving in his DeLorean. In the legal aftermath of the incident, the actor pleaded no contest to the charges. His sentence included 3 years of probation, during which he faced restrictions on the use of any vehicle. Notably, he was only permitted to drive to and from work. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and television host, found himself facing legal consequences due to his struggles with substance abuse. As a result, he was mandated to participate in a mandatory alcohol program. This program was designed to address his drinking problems and help him regain control over his life. Despite the challenges he faced, Carson did not shy away from addressing his issues publicly. He acknowledged his problem and used his platform to raise awareness about the dangers of substance abuse. By speaking openly about his experiences, he hoped to help others who may be struggling with similar issues. The actor's participation in the mandatory alcohol program was a turning point in his life. It allowed him to confront his demons and make a positive change. Through his bravery and honesty, he showed his fans that it is possible to overcome adversity and come out stronger on the other side. Carson's story is a reminder that even the most successful and admired individuals can struggle with personal issues. By facing his problems head-on and seeking help, he was able to continue his successful career and leave a lasting legacy in the world of entertainment. His courage and determination serve as an inspiration to us all. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, was known for his sharp wit and quick humor. But amidst his successful career, he also faced personal challenges. In particular, he struggled with alcoholism. Carson was open about his struggles and would occasionally weave jokes about his drinking habits into his show. This level of transparency allowed his audience to be well aware of the challenges he was facing. Despite his personal battles, Carson continued to be a mainstay in the world of television, hosting The Tonight Show for over 30 years. His impact on the industry is still felt today, with many comedians and hosts citing him as a major influence. Through his honesty and vulnerability, Carson showed that even in the face of adversity, one can still find success and make a lasting mark. His legacy continues to resonate with audiences, reminding us all that it's okay to acknowledge our struggles and face them head-on. The actor's ability to find humor in his own challenges was a testament to his resilience and strength. It is a reminder that even in the midst of hardship, we can find ways to cope and move forward. In the end, Johnny Carson's career and life serve as an inspiration to all, showing that with hard work, determination, and a little bit of humor, we can overcome anything. His impact on the world of entertainment will never be forgotten. In a revealing 1977 interview with 60 Minutes, actor Johnny Carson openly discussed his struggles with alcohol addiction. When asked about his relationship with alcohol, he forthrightly acknowledged, "I don't handle alcohol well at all. No, really I don't." This admission demonstrated a remarkable degree of self-awareness, even as he continued to battle with his addiction in the years that followed. During the interview, Carson spoke candidly about how he had tried to limit his drinking, but found it challenging. His honesty was striking, particularly given the cultural norms of the time, which often discouraged public discussions of personal flaws or weaknesses. Despite his efforts to control his drinking, Carson's experience highlights the complex nature of addiction, a struggle that can persist despite a person's best intentions. The fact that Carson chose to speak so openly about his addiction served as a reminder of its prevalence and the need for greater understanding and support. By sharing his own experiences, he helped to break down stigmas around addiction and encourage others who may have been struggling in silence. Carson's willingness to discuss his addiction also underscores the idea that even those who seem to have it all, fame, fortune, and success, can still face significant personal challenges. Addiction does not discriminate based on social status or professional achievement, and Carson's story serves as a powerful example of this truth. In conclusion, the 1977 60 Minutes interview with Johnny Carson provided a rare glimpse into the private struggles of one of America's most beloved television personalities. While Carson's addiction was certainly a difficult chapter in his life, his decision to speak publicly about it ultimately helped to raise awareness and reduce stigma surrounding addiction. Johnny Carson, the beloved host of The Tonight Show, faced allegations of harassment and problematic behavior during the Me Too era. The actor's power and influence in Hollywood allowed him to get away with this behavior, despite it being an open secret. Carson's alleged harassment was often facilitated by his celebrity status and rumored relationships with women on set. He was known to abuse alcohol, which may have contributed to his inappropriate behavior. Despite the seriousness of these allegations, no legal action was ever taken against Carson. This was likely due to his significant influence in the entertainment industry and his formidable legal team. The actor's problematic behavior was an unfortunate aspect of his legacy, and it serves as a reminder of the power dynamics that often exist in the entertainment industry. Despite this, his contributions to television and popular culture will always be remembered. It is important to note that the allegations against Carson were never proven in a court of law. However, the rumors and whispers that surrounded his behavior during the Me Too era cannot be ignored. As we look back on the career of Johnny Carson, it is impossible to ignore the allegations of harassment that were made against him. While he will always be remembered for his contributions to television, his problematic behavior is a dark stain on his legacy. The actress Sally Field once shared a personal account about her relationship with Johnny Carson, which adds a unique perspective to the larger narrative. Field described the dynamic between them as being similar to the octopus and the little guppy. This comparison highlights the idea that Carson was overly hands-on during their time together. Despite dating briefly, Field expressed her discomfort with the situation. She mentioned that she wasn't particularly interested in him and struggled to reject his advances. This anecdote provides a glimpse into the actor's personal life, showcasing a side of him that may not be as well known as his public persona. It's worth noting that this incident occurred during a time when societal norms and expectations around dating and personal boundaries were different from what they are today. Nonetheless, Field's account offers a valuable insight into the actor's behavior and the power dynamics that can exist within relationships. As we reflect on this story, it's important to remember that even those we admire and look up to are complex individuals with their own strengths and flaws. While Carson's contributions to the world of entertainment are undeniable, it's essential to view him as a multidimensional figure, rather than a one-dimensional icon. Johnny Carson, the famous actor and talk show host, was known for his sharp wit and charisma. But few people knew about his personal connection to a particular strategy used by women to fend off unwanted suitors. One of those women was Field, who shared her tactic with the world. Field's strategy involved claiming to be on the brink of a mental breakdown, requiring her to be sent away. This fabricated excuse allowed her to avoid direct confrontation with the men she wished to avoid. It seems that this tactic struck a chord with Carson, who had a complicated relationship with his own son, who faced mental health challenges. Carson's estranged relationship with his son was well documented, and it's possible that Field's tactic resonated with him on a personal level. By using a mental health issue as a shield, Field was able to navigate difficult social situations without causing further harm or distress. It's worth noting that mental health issues are a serious matter, and using them as a tactic to avoid confrontation is not recommended. However, Field's story provides an interesting glimpse into the social dynamics of the time, and the ways in which people found creative solutions to difficult problems. Throughout his career, Carson was known for his ability to connect with his audience and make them feel at ease. His personal experiences undoubtedly informed his on-screen persona, making him a more empathetic and relatable figure. In the end, Field's tactic serves as a reminder that even in the most challenging situations, there are always ways to navigate with grace and dignity. And for Carson, it provided a personal connection to a story that resonated with many. Johnny Carson, despite his success in the entertainment industry, experienced marital failures throughout his life. His second marriage to Joanne Copeland was filled with optimism, yet it ended in a way that neither of them could have predicted. The actor tied the knot with Copeland in 1963, after meeting her through a mutual friend. At first, their relationship seemed promising. They shared many interests, including a love for golf and horses. However, over time, conflicts began to arise between them. Carson struggled with work-life balance, often prioritizing his job over his family. He spent long hours working on The Tonight Show, leaving little time for his spouse. This took a toll on their relationship, causing distance between them. Additionally, Carson had trouble expressing his emotions and communicating effectively with Copeland. She felt neglected and unappreciated, leading to feelings of resentment towards him. Despite several attempts at counseling, they couldn't reconcile their differences. Eventually, in 1972, the couple decided to part ways. Their divorce proceedings were amicable, and they remained friends until Carson's death in 2005. Nevertheless, the dissolution of their marriage marked another failed attempt at finding lasting love for the actor. Despite these setbacks, Carson continued to find solace in his work. But behind closed doors, he grappled with personal issues related to relationships and commitment. Ultimately, his story serves as a reminder that even those who seem to have it all can struggle in matters of the heart. In the early 1960s, the paths of Johnny Carson and Joanne Copeland crossed for the first time. At that time, Carson was hosting the popular game show, Who Do You Trust?, while Joanne was working as a flight attendant. This serendipitous encounter sparked a connection between the two, leading to their marriage in 1963. However, their marital journey was not without its challenges. The couple faced significant obstacles that ultimately led to the dissolution of their marriage in 1972. Despite the early promise of their relationship, they were unable to overcome the difficulties that arose between them. Throughout his career, Carson was known for his work as a comedian and television host. His tenure as the host of The Tonight Show spanned 3 decades, during which time he became a beloved figure in American popular culture. Meanwhile, Joanne Copeland continued to pursue her own interests and career. Although their marriage did not endure, the two remained connected through the memories of their time together. In the end, the story of Johnny Carson and Joanne Copeland serves as a reminder of the complexities of human relationships. Even when two people cross paths in a promising way, there are no guarantees of what the future may hold. Johnny Carson's marriage to Joanne Copeland was marred by infidelity, leading to the eventual end of their union. Copeland had an affair with football player Frank Gifford, causing significant distress in their relationship. However, the actor himself was not immune to extramarital involvements during this tumultuous period. The details of these indiscretions remain private, but they played a role in the couple's decision to part ways. The demise of their relationship, marked by unfaithfulness on both sides, ultimately led to the end of their marriage. Johnny Carson and his wife, Joanne Copeland, managed to separate amicably despite the strain on their relationship. Copeland remained supportive of Carson's television career even after their separation. However, the public remained unaware of Copeland's affair with Frank Gifford until 2013. This revelation was made by Carson's former lawyer, Henry Bushkin, in his tell-all book that explored the details of Carson's life. Bushkin's book delved into the intricate details of Carson's life, including his personal relationships and career. The book's release was surprising to many, as it revealed information that had been kept private for many years. The affair between Copeland and Gifford was a significant revelation, as it had been a well-kept secret until then. Carson's career as a television host was highly successful, and he became a household name in the United States. His show, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, was on the air for 30 years and was highly influential. Carson's humor and interviewing style were widely admired, and he became known for his ability to put his guests at ease. Despite the success of his career, Carson's personal life was not without its challenges. His marriage to Copeland was his second, and the couple faced difficulties that ultimately led to their separation. However, they managed to part ways in a relatively amicable manner, with Copeland remaining supportive of Carson's career. The revelation of Copeland's affair with Gifford was a surprise to many, as it had been kept private for many years. The affair was revealed in Bushkin's book, which explored the details of Carson's life in great detail. The book was a fascinating look into the life of this classic television host, shedding light on both his personal relationships and his career. In conclusion, Johnny Carson and Joanne Copeland managed to separate amicably, with Copeland remaining supportive of Carson's career. However, the revelation of Copeland's affair with Frank Gifford was a surprise to many, and it was not made public until the release of Bushkin's book in 2013. The book was a fascinating look into the life of this classic television host, shedding light on both his personal relationships and his career. In Henry Bushkin's book, controversial allegations were made about the actor Johnny Carson. Some of these claims faced criticism for their sensational nature. One such allegation was that Carson had asked Bushkin to gather photographic evidence of his wife Joanne's affair with Frank Gifford. This request is said to have reflected the depth of Carson's emotional turmoil during this period. The book provides an inside look into the personal life of the actor, revealing details that were not previously known to the public. The sensational nature of these allegations has sparked discussions among fans of the actor and those familiar with his work. Despite the controversy, the book offers a unique perspective on the life of the iconic figure, providing insight into his emotional state during a difficult time in his personal life. The allegations made in Bushkin's book have left a mark on the legacy of the actor, adding a layer of complexity to his public image. The story serves as a reminder of the challenges that even the most successful figures in the entertainment industry can face in their personal lives. Reflecting on the life of the actor, it's revealed that he went through a particularly challenging time, during which he reportedly carried a revolver. The source of his distress was an affair involving his wife, which left him heartbroken. The actor's friend, Bushkin, recounts how the actor would weep over his wife's betrayal. Initially, Bushkin was reluctant to get involved. However, he eventually agreed to help, vowing to uncover evidence of the affair. The details Bushkin provided were sordid, adding to the actor's heartache. Despite the pain, the actor felt compelled to confront the truth, turning to his friend for support during this difficult time. This period in the actor's life was marked by heartbreak and turmoil, a stark contrast to the laughter and joy he brought to audiences through his work. It's a reminder that even those who seem to have it all can face significant personal struggles. After the revelation of Johnny Carson's affair with a woman who later married Frank Gifford, the actor was deeply affected. This incident led him to go on a drinking binge with his Tonight Show co-host, Ed McMahon. The drinking binge was a way for Carson to cope with the guilt and shame he was feeling after the affair was made public. In later years, Frank Gifford was diagnosed with a brain disease. His wife, Kathy Lee Gifford, who married him after his affair with Carson, inquired about the affair. according to Kathy Lee's account on a show, Frank couldn't remember the details of the affair, a plausible scenario given his medical condition. The affair and the drinking binge were just two of the many indiscretions that Carson was involved in throughout his life. These incidents took a toll on the lives of those involved, leaving behind a complicated narrative of past indiscretions. Frank Gifford passed away in 2015, leaving behind a legacy of his own. His medical condition in his later years made it difficult for him to remember certain details of his past, including the affair with Carson. In the end, the affair and the drinking binge were just two of the many challenges that Carson and those around him had to face. Despite these challenges, they continued to move forward, leaving behind a complicated narrative of past indiscretions and the toll they took on the lives of those involved. In the midst of a significant personal transition, the actor found himself in the company of Playboy model Angel Tompkins. This encounter took place while he was in the throes of divorce proceedings. Despite warnings that such a liaison could potentially complicate the legal process, he decided to invite Tompkins to his residence. This choice of action offers a glimpse into the complexities and emotional turmoil often associated with high-profile divorces. The actor, known for his work in the entertainment industry, was no stranger to public scrutiny. Yet, in this instance, he seemed to prioritize personal connections over potential repercussions. The actor's decision to engage with Tompkins, despite the ongoing divorce proceedings, suggests a desire for companionship during a challenging time. It's a reminder that even public figures, with their lives often under the microscope, are human beings with human emotions and needs. The implications of this choice, however, were not without potential consequences. The actor's actions could have been used to influence the divorce proceedings, adding an extra layer of complication to an already complex situation. Yet, he chose to follow his own path, highlighting the personal decisions often made behind the scenes in the world of show business. In the end, the actor's encounter with Tompkins serves as a reminder of the human element that often lies beneath the surface of high-profile divorces. It's a testament to the emotional complexities that can accompany such transitions, even for those in the public eye. Johnny Carson, the renowned actor and host, was known for his extravagant gifts to his wife, Joanne. These gifts, which included a Rolls-Royce and diamonds, were not seen as mere tokens of love, but as markers of Johnny's infidelity. Despite the luxury, they fueled Joanne's suspicions rather than providing comfort or assurance. The actor's extramarital activities were not a secret confined to the aftermath of their split. Reports suggest that Joanne was aware of Johnny's infidelity even during their marriage. The high-end gifts, instead of alleviating her concerns, cast a shadow over their relationship dynamics. The Rolls-Royce and diamonds, rather than being symbols of love and commitment, became reminders of the actor's unfaithfulness. They served as markers of a troubled relationship, their meaning overshadowed by the actor's actions. The extravagance of the gifts was a stark contrast to the underlying issues, making them a complex symbol of both love and betrayal. In the end, the extravagant gifts, instead of providing reassurance, became a part of the troubled narrative of their relationship. They served as reminders of the actor's infidelity, casting a long shadow over their marriage. Johnny Carson's relationship with his mother, Ruth, was a complicated and challenging one. Despite outward appearances, the actor held deep-seated resentment towards his mother, which became apparent when he made the offhand comment, "The wicked witch is dead," upon hearing of her passing. This chilling remark shed light on the bitter feelings that existed between them. Carson's childhood experiences significantly shaped his personality and relationships throughout his life. Born into a troubled household, where his parents frequently argued, he often felt like an outsider looking in. His father, Homer, worked as a power company manager, while Ruth stayed home to take care of their two sons, Johnny and Dick. However, it wasn't the idealized image of domesticity one might imagine. As a child, Carson found solace in performing magic tricks and making people laugh, providing him with a much-needed escape from his tumultuous surroundings. But behind closed doors, tensions ran high, especially between Ruth and her husband. Eventually, Homer left the family, leaving young Johnny feeling abandoned by his father figure. With Homer gone, Carson's already fragile bond with his mother deteriorated further. Throughout his adulthood, Carson struggled to connect with women romantically due to his fractured relationship with his mother. He married 4 times before finding lasting happiness with Alexis Moss, whom he remained with until his death. Yet despite these failed marriages, Carson never lost sight of his passion for entertaining audiences. In fact, many argue that his personal struggles fueled his comedic genius, allowing him to channel those emotions into humor. When news broke of Ruth's passing, Carson famously remarked, "The wicked witch is dead," expressing years of pent-up anger toward her. While some saw this statement as cold-hearted, others understood the complexity of their fraught relationship. Although they spoke infrequently over the years, her influence lingered in his memories, shaping who he became both personally and professionally. Despite the challenges he faced during his formative years, Carson persevered and built a successful career as a beloved television host. Nevertheless, the scars from his upbringing remained etched in his psyche, forever influencing how he navigated interpersonal relationships, particularly with women, and approached his work. Ultimately, the enigmatic persona that captivated millions on late-night TV can be traced back to his early experiences with his mother, Ruth. Johnny Carson's tumultuous relationship with his mother, Ruth, seemed to have significantly influenced his personality and marital life. The actor's candid remarks often revealed a deep-seated resentment towards his mother. He once referred to Ruth as the toughest son of a gun you ever met, and held her responsible for the breakdown of his marriages. Carson's strained relationship with his mother was a recurring theme in his personal life. His first marriage to Jody Walcott ended in divorce in 1963, followed by his second marriage to Joanne Copeland in 1963, which also ended in divorce in 1972. His third marriage to Joanna Holland in 1972 lasted until 1983, and his fourth and final marriage to Alexis Mass in 1987 ended with his death in 25. The actor's numerous failed marriages and his candid statements about his mother suggest that he believed that his negative personality traits and relationship challenges stemmed from his upbringing. Carson's portrayal of his connection with his mother was deeply troubled, and he often blamed her for his personal struggles. Despite his personal challenges, Carson's impact on the entertainment industry is undeniable. His career spanned over 5 decades, and he became a cultural icon in the United States. He hosted The Tonight Show for 30 years, becoming one of the most beloved television personalities of all time. Carson's legacy continues to inspire new generations of comedians and television personalities. His unique style and wit left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry, and his impact on American culture is still felt today. However, the troubled relationship with his mother remained a constant theme in his personal life, revealing a more complex and troubled side to the beloved television personality. Johnny Carson's refusal to attend his mother Ruth's funeral is a poignant example of the complex emotions that marked their relationship. The actor, known for his role as the host of The Tonight Show, was open about the challenging relationship he had with his mother. In his memoir, Carson characterized Ruth as a detrimental force in his life, stating that she played a significant role in shaping his personality and contributing to the failures in his marriages. Carson's difficult upbringing, marked by his parents' divorce and his mother's remarriage to a man who physically abused him, left a deep impact on the actor. He often spoke about how his experiences as a child contributed to his struggles with trust and commitment in his adult relationships. Carson's tumultuous relationship with his mother was a central theme in his life, and his decision to skip her funeral was a reflection of the deep-seated emotions that he carried with him. Despite the challenges that he faced in his personal life, Carson's career as a television host was marked by his quick wit, charm, and ability to connect with audiences. His show, The Tonight Show, became a cultural phenomenon, and Carson's influence on popular culture cannot be overstated. However, the darker aspects of his life, including his strained relationship with his mother, served as a constant reminder of the complex emotions that he grappled with throughout his life. In the end, Carson's refusal to attend Ruth's funeral added another layer to the complex emotions surrounding their relationship. The actor's characterization of his mother as a detrimental force in his life was underscored by his admission that she played a significant role in shaping his personality and contributing to the failures in his marriages. Despite the challenges that he faced, Carson's legacy as a television host and cultural icon remains intact, serving as a testament to his enduring influence on popular culture. Johnny Carson, known for his sharp wit and humor, was also known for his less than pleasant interactions with his mother, Ruth. Despite his success as an actor and his famous talk show, Carson didn't shy away from sharing his true feelings about his mother. His harsh words about Ruth invite speculation about the nature of their interactions and the impact she had on his emotional well-being. Parent-child relationships, especially those with tumultuous dynamics, can have lasting effects. Carson's critical reflections on his mother serve as a reminder of the complexities of these relationships. The way a parent treats their child can shape their self-perception, their relationships with others, and their overall emotional health. Carson's relationship with his mother was far from perfect. In interviews and in his autobiography, he spoke openly about her negative impact on his life. Despite this, he also acknowledged the influence she had on his career, as she was the one who encouraged him to pursue acting in the first place. The relationship between Carson and his mother is a prime example of the complexities of parent-child relationships. Even when a parent has a significant influence on their child's life, the dynamics of their relationship can be fraught with tension and negativity. These relationships can have enduring effects, shaping a person's emotional well-being and self-perception long after they have left their childhood home. In conclusion, the relationship between Johnny Carson and his mother serves as a reminder of the complexities of parent-child relationships. Even when a parent has a significant influence on their child's life, the dynamics of their relationship can be far from perfect. These relationships can have enduring effects, shaping a person's emotional well-being and self-perception long after they have left their childhood home. Johnny Carson, the beloved host of The Tonight Show, was known for his warm and welcoming demeanor towards his guests. Over the course of his career, he welcomed thousands of guests, creating a diverse array of interactions. However, not every guest resonated positively with Carson. One of the personalities he reportedly loathed the most was the legendary comedian Bob Hope. Carson's dislike for Hope was no secret, and it was often discussed in Hollywood circles. Despite Hope's reputation as a comedy great, Carson found his style of humor to be outdated and unfunny. The two men's personalities also clashed, with Hope coming across as arrogant and self-centered. Despite his dislike for Hope, Carson never let his personal feelings affect his professionalism. He always treated Hope with respect and courtesy during his appearances on The Tonight Show. However, behind the scenes, Carson made no secret of his disdain for the comedian. Carson's interactions with Hope were just one small part of his massive career. Over the years, he welcomed countless guests, from actors and musicians to politicians and authors. Each guest brought something new and different to the show, and Carson was always gracious and welcoming. Despite his fame and success, Carson remained humble and down-to-earth throughout his career. He never let his ego get in the way of his relationships with his guests or his audience. For this reason, he remains one of the most beloved figures in the history of television. In the end, Carson's legacy is one of warmth, humor, and professionalism. He set the standard for late-night talk shows, and his influence can still be seen today. Even though he had his share of dislikes, he always put his guests and his audience first, making The Tonight Show a must-watch for millions of viewers. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, had a particular issue with fellow comedian Bob Hope. Hope's meticulous preparation for each appearance on the show irritated Carson. Hope would come excessively prepared, even going so far as to have written out jokes ready for the show. This level of premeditation struck Carson as inauthentic. Carson valued guests who engaged more spontaneously, creating a more natural and entertaining experience for both the audience and himself. He believed that the best interviews and conversations happened when both parties were able to react to each other in the moment, rather than sticking to a pre-planned script. Despite this, Carson and Hope maintained a professional relationship, and Hope continued to appear on The Tonight Show. However, it is clear that Carson's issues with Hope's over-preparation ran deep and affected his opinion of the comedian's authenticity. In contrast, Carson's own approach to hosting was known for its relaxed and natural style. He was able to think on his feet and ad-lib jokes and comments with ease, making for a more engaging and entertaining show. This approach earned him numerous awards and accolades throughout his career, and he remains one of the most iconic figures in the history of American television. As time went on, it became increasingly clear that age was taking a toll on the once lively and sharp-witted comedian Bob Hope. Despite his long-standing relationship with Johnny Carson and The Tonight Show, the actor's declining health began to pose challenges during interviews. Hope's hearing became a significant issue, making it difficult for him to engage in smooth and effortless conversations with Carson. The actor would often struggle to hear the questions being asked, leading to awkward pauses and misunderstandings. To make things even more challenging, Hope would frequently provide notes to Carson, requesting that questions be asked in a specific order. This requirement added an extra layer of complexity to the interviews, as Carson had to carefully navigate the conversation while also ensuring that he was asking the questions in the correct sequence. Despite these challenges, Hope continued to make appearances on The Tonight Show, determined to maintain his connection with the program and its host. However, it was clear that the actor was no longer at the peak of his abilities as age and health issues began to take their toll. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, found himself increasingly frustrated with the declining health of a dear friend and fellow entertainer, Bob Hope. The deterioration became so noticeable that Carson allegedly vented his frustrations to his staff. According to reports, Carson expressed his concerns about Hope's condition and remarked, "If I ever end up like that, guys, I want you to shoot me." Carson's comment reflected the impact of witnessing a once vibrant entertainer experiencing such visible decline. The actor had a deep respect for Hope and his contributions to the world of entertainment. However, the sight of his friends struggling with health issues was difficult for Carson to bear. The actor's concern for his friend's well-being was evident in his interactions with his staff. Carson's remark was not made in jest, but was a genuine expression of his fears about the impact of aging on one's health and vitality. The actor's comment served as a reminder of the importance of taking care of one's health and well-being, even in the face of the challenges that come with aging. Despite his frustrations, Carson continued to maintain a deep respect and admiration for Hope and his contributions to the entertainment industry. The actor recognized the impact that Hope had made on the world of entertainment and the mark that he had left on the lives of countless fans. In the end, Carson's comment served as a reminder of the importance of taking care of one's health and well-being, even in the face of the challenges that come with aging. The actor's concern for his friend's well-being was a testament to the deep respect and admiration that he had for Hope and his contributions to the world of entertainment. In the past, comedians like Johnny Carson often used fat jokes in their acts. However, this practice has become less common today, as comedians have come to recognize the insensitivity of such jokes and the understanding that a person's weight can be influenced by factors beyond their control, such as genetics or underlying health concerns. Johnny Carson, a prominent figure in the world of comedy, was known for his penchant for delivering fat jokes. His show, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, was a classic staple of late-night television and ran for 30 years, from 1962 to 1992. During that time, Carson became a household name and a beloved figure in American culture. However, Carson's use of fat jokes had notable consequences. Some people found his jokes offensive and hurtful, and they felt that he was contributing to the stigmatization of overweight individuals. Others defended Carson, arguing that his jokes were meant to be harmless and that he was simply trying to be funny. Despite the controversy surrounding his fat jokes, Carson's impact on the world of comedy is undeniable. He paved the way for future comedians and talk show hosts, and his legacy continues to resonate today. However, the changing attitudes towards fat jokes serve as a reminder that comedy is not created in a vacuum, and that comedians must be mindful of the impact their words can have on their audience. Today, comedians are more likely to steer clear of fat jokes and other forms of humor that may be perceived as insensitive or offensive. Instead, they strive to create comedy that is inclusive, respectful, and mindful of the diverse experiences and perspectives of their audience. This shift in approach reflects a growing awareness of the power of comedy to shape attitudes and perceptions, and the responsibility that comedians have to use that power wisely. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, had a penchant for humor that often touched on his guest appearances. This affinity became particularly notable in his interactions with actor Raymond Burr. After making 2 appearances on Carson's show in 1968 and 1976, Burr decided to boycott further appearances due to the persistent belittling of his appearance. Burr, best known for his roles in Perry Mason and Ironside, was the target of a constant barrage of fat jokes from Carson. The actor, who had struggled with his weight throughout his life, took a stand against this form of humor. Despite the popularity of Carson's show and the potential career opportunities that could come from appearing on it, Burr prioritized his self-respect and refused to subject himself to further ridicule. The boycott was a significant statement in an era when humor often relied on making fun of people's differences. Burr's decision to take a stand against this kind of humor sent a message that it was not acceptable to belittle others based on their appearance. His actions served as a reminder that everyone deserves respect, regardless of their weight, height, or any other physical characteristic. Carson's behavior towards Burr was particularly disappointing, given the actor's contributions to the entertainment industry. Burr had a long and successful career, with numerous accolades to his name. His talent and dedication to his craft earned him a place in the hearts of audiences around the world. It was unfortunate that Carson's humor overshadowed Burr's achievements and reduced him to a target of jokes about his weight. Despite the challenges he faced, Burr remained a respected and beloved figure in the entertainment industry. His decision to boycott Carson's show demonstrated his strength and resilience in the face of adversity. It was a testament to his character and a reminder of the importance of standing up for oneself and demanding respect. In the end, Burr's boycott served as a catalyst for change in the entertainment industry. It highlighted the need for humor that uplifts and respects all individuals, regardless of their appearance, and it served as a reminder of the power of standing up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. The decision by Burr to decline further appearances on the show, hosted by Johnny Carson, sheds light on the impact of persistent commentary about one's appearance. This decision highlights the emotional toll that humor, especially when it targets personal characteristics beyond one's control, can have on an individual. Burr's move prompts us to ponder over the boundaries of comedy. Comedy, as a form of entertainment, has always been a delicate balance between humor and respect for the individual. When humor crosses the line and becomes a tool to mock personal characteristics, it can lead to distress and discomfort for the person at the receiving end. This situation with Burr and Carson's show is a reminder that humor, while a powerful tool for entertainment and social commentary, should be used responsibly. It's crucial to respect the boundaries of comedy and avoid targeting personal characteristics that individuals cannot change. In the end, the decision by Burr underscores the importance of creating a comedy environment that is inclusive, respectful, and mindful of the feelings and experiences of others. This incident serves as a valuable lesson for all of us in the entertainment industry and beyond. In 1980, the actor Johnny Carson considered purchasing the Aladdin Hotel and Casino located in Las Vegas, Nevada. This establishment, known for its opulence and grandeur, presented an exciting opportunity for Carson. However, after careful deliberation, he decided to withdraw from the deal. The media, always eager for a dramatic narrative, portrayed Carson's withdrawal as a loss, creating a narrative around his perceived failure. The Aladdin Hotel and Casino, a popular destination for tourists and high rollers alike, caught Carson's attention due to its potential for investment. At the time, Carson was a well-known figure in the entertainment industry, hosting the popular late-night talk show, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. His fame and success made him an attractive candidate for such a high-profile acquisition. However, the deal ultimately fell through, and the Aladdin Hotel and Casino was acquired by Wayne Newton and a group of other investors. Despite the media's portrayal of Carson's withdrawal as a failure, the actor's decision not to proceed with the acquisition may have been a wise one. The reasons for Carson's withdrawal from the deal are not entirely clear. However, it is possible that the actor recognized the potential risks and challenges associated with owning and operating a hotel and casino. The hospitality industry can be unpredictable, and the financial burden of such a large acquisition may have been too great for Carson to take on. Regardless of the reasons behind Carson's decision, the media's portrayal of the situation as a loss for the actor was unfortunate. Carson's career was marked by numerous successes, and his decision not to proceed with the Aladdin Hotel and Casino deal should not be seen as a failure. In fact, Carson's career was defined by his ability to entertain audiences and make people laugh. His contributions to the entertainment industry were significant, and his legacy continues to resonate with audiences today. Despite the media's attempts to create a narrative around Carson's perceived failure, the actor's success and impact on the entertainment industry cannot be denied. In conclusion, while Johnny Carson's potential acquisition of the Aladdin Hotel and Casino in 1980 may have ended in withdrawal, the actor's decision not to proceed with the deal should not be seen as a failure. Carson's career was marked by numerous successes, and his contributions to the entertainment industry continue to resonate with audiences today. The media's portrayal of the situation as a loss for Carson was unfortunate, but the actor's legacy remains intact. Johnny Carson, the well-known actor and host of The Tonight Show, found himself in an unexpected confrontation. A certain portrayal had been brought to his attention, and in response, he decided to address the situation with his signature humor. However, his comedic material took a controversial turn. Carson began making jokes about the masculinity of a fellow celebrity, Wayne Newton. In the cultural context of the 1980s, such humor was often interpreted as a direct attack on a person's character. The actor's lighthearted intentions might have been misconstrued, leading to a more serious consequence than he had initially anticipated. Despite the potential backlash, Carson continued with his jokes, unaware of the impact they would have on his reputation and the public's perception of him. His actions serve as a reminder of the power of words and the importance of considering the cultural context in which humor is presented. Even a seasoned actor like Carson could stumble upon a sensitive issue, demonstrating that comedy is not always a straightforward matter. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, was no stranger to humor. But when Wayne Newton took offense to Carson's jokes at his expense, things took a turn. Newton, understandably angered, decided to confront Carson directly. He showed up at the actors' offices and made it clear that unless Carson stopped making jokes about him, there might be serious consequences. The threat was unmistakable. A physical altercation could be on the horizon. Faced with this ultimatum, Carson chose to back down. He realized that continuing to make jokes at Newton's expense could lead to real-world consequences, and so he opted to relent. The public sparring through humor came to an end, with Carson putting an end to the jokes that had upset Newton. In the end, Carson's decision to stop making jokes about Newton was a wise one. It prevented a physical altercation and allowed the two to move on from the conflict. And for viewers of The Tonight Show, it meant that they could continue to enjoy Carson's humor without any lingering tension or animosity. During an interview with Larry King, the actor Newton reflected on his past feud with Johnny Carson. Carson, a well-known figure in the entertainment industry, was described by Newton as a mean-spirited individual who had caused harm to people in ways that the public may never fully comprehend. Newton shared his decision to not tolerate Carson's negative attention, highlighting the personal toll that public feuds can have on an individual. The animosity between the two had been well documented in the media, and it was clear that the feud had left a lasting impact on Newton. Despite the negative experiences he had with Carson, Newton remained professional and focused on his own career. He continued to act in films and television shows, captivating audiences with his talent and charisma. Throughout his career, the actor had been known for his ability to portray complex and nuanced characters. His work had resonated with audiences around the world, leaving a lasting mark on the entertainment industry. Even years after their feud, the mention of Carson's name still brought up strong emotions for Newton. It was clear that the experience had been a difficult one for him, and that he had worked hard to move past it and focus on his own career and personal growth. As the interview came to a close, it was clear that the feud with Carson had been a significant moment in Newton's life. Despite the challenges he had faced, he had emerged as a talented and respected actor, leaving a lasting legacy in the world of entertainment. Johnny Carson, the well-known actor and host of The Tonight Show, was not shy about sharing his honest opinions about figures in the entertainment industry. One notable example of this was his feud with Tom Snyder, the host of The Tomorrow Show, which followed Carson's show. The root of their disagreement was simple. Carson found Snyder's interviews dull and lacking in talent. This tension between the two NBC personalities was no secret, as Carson made his disdain for Snyder clear on multiple occasions. In an effort to improve the quality of The Tomorrow Show, Snyder even reached out to Carson for advice. However, Carson's feedback was far from constructive. He reportedly told Snyder, "You're just not very good at this, are you?" This harsh criticism only served to widen the rift between the two hosts. Despite their strained relationship, both Carson and Snyder continued to host their respective shows on NBC. Their contrasting styles and opinions made for an interesting dynamic, with Carson's sharp wit and strong opinions often clashing with Snyder's more laid-back approach. In the end, Carson's feud with Snyder was just one example of his candid nature and unwillingness to sugarcoat his thoughts. While their disagreement may have caused some tension, it also added to the intrigue and unpredictability of their shows. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, found himself in a delicate situation during an outing at a Los Angeles bar in the late 1970s. After indulging in a few glasses of wine, Carson engaged in a spirited public rant about one of his colleagues, Joan Snyder. This outburst was not the most tactful way to handle disagreements, especially considering that Snyder was a fellow colleague within the same network. The actor's discontent with Snyder was not a private matter, as it spilled into the public sphere. The bar was a popular spot, and many patrons recognized Carson, making the situation even more uncomfortable for those present. Carson's behavior was unbecoming of a public figure, and it reflected poorly on his professionalism. Although Carson was known for his quick wit and humor, this incident showed a different side of him. His public rant about Snyder was a departure from his usual charming demeanor, leaving many to wonder about the cause of his outburst. It was clear that there was a disagreement between the two, but the details of their feud remained private. Despite this incident, Carson's career did not suffer any significant setbacks. He continued to host The Tonight Show until 1992, cementing his place in television history as one of the most beloved and respected hosts of all time. However, this incident served as a reminder that even the most accomplished and respected public figures are not immune to human flaws and mistakes. In conclusion, Carson's public rant about Snyder was a rare misstep in an otherwise successful career. While it was a departure from his usual charming demeanor, it did not detract from his enduring legacy as a talented actor and host. The incident serves as a reminder that even the most accomplished public figures are human and prone to mistakes. The relationship between Johnny Carson and two of his most frequent guests, Joan Rivers and John Davidson, took a turn for the worse when both Rivers and Davidson decided to start their own talk shows. This decision by the duo came as a shock to Carson, who was reportedly incensed by the news. For many years, Rivers and Davidson had been regular faces on Carson's show, and their sudden departure to host competing programs created a significant rift between them. Carson had discovered Rivers and helped her gain popularity in the industry. However, their friendship turned sour when Rivers accepted an offer to host a rival show on Fox. Carson felt betrayed by Rivers' decision and refused to speak to her for several decades. In fact, things got so bad that Rivers was banned from appearing on The Tonight Show after her new program went on air. Similarly, Carson also had a falling out with Davidson over his decision to host a daytime talk show. Although Davidson had initially promised Carson that he would not compete with him directly, he eventually changed his mind and launched his own show. This move led to a strained relationship between the two men, with Carson feeling hurt and disappointed by what he perceived as a breach of trust. Despite the animosity between Carson and his former guests, both Rivers and Davidson continued to find success in their respective careers. Nevertheless, the feud left a lasting impact on all three individuals, creating a divide that never fully healed. Johnny Carson, the beloved host of The Tonight Show, was known for his welcoming demeanor and ability to make guests feel at ease. However, he had a limit when it came to perceived disloyalty from those close to him. In particular, Carson saw Joan Rivers' decision to host a show on the Fox network as a direct challenge to his own late-night program. This move was perceived as a betrayal, as Rivers had been a regular guest and guest host on The Tonight Show for many years. The fallout from this decision was significant. Carson, who had the power to make or break careers in show business, made it clear that he was displeased with Rivers' actions. This led to a strained relationship between the two, with Carson refusing to have Rivers back on The Tonight Show for many years. In a 29 interview with Larry King, Rivers recounted the impact of this decision on her career. She expressed regret for the way things had turned out, and spoke about the difficulty of being in Carson's bad graces. Despite this, Rivers went on to have a successful career in her own right, becoming a trailblazer for women in comedy and a fixture on the talk show circuit. However, the perceived disloyalty towards Carson was always a source of tension and regret for her. In the end, the incident serves as a reminder of the power dynamics at play in the world of show business and the importance of loyalty and respect in professional relationships. Johnny Carson's friendship with comedian Joan Rivers came to an end following her acceptance of a hosting job that lasted only a year. This new opportunity created a rift between the two, leading to their estrangement. Despite Rivers maintaining her friendship with Johnny's co-host Ed McMahon, she and Johnny never spoke again after this episode. This unfortunate turn of events marked the end of a once close relationship between two renowned figures in the entertainment industry. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, was known for his wit and charm. However, his relationship with comedian Joan Rivers took a turn when she started her own talk show, competing directly with his long-running program. The root of Carson's anger was not just professional rivalry, but also a personal betrayal. According to Rivers, the two had an affair while she was still married to her husband, television producer Edgar Rosenberg. Their romantic relationship, which had remained a secret, added a layer of complexity to their already strained professional relationship. When Rivers launched her own show, Carson saw it as a betrayal, not just of their friendship, but also of the unspoken rules of their affair. The revelation of their past relationship only added fuel to the fire, further damaging their already tense relationship. Despite this, Carson remained a powerful figure in the entertainment industry, and his show continued to be a success. Meanwhile, Rivers' show faced numerous challenges and was eventually canceled. The fallout from their strained relationship left a lasting impact on both of their careers, and the memory of their affair remained a closely guarded secret. The affair between Johnny Carson and Joan Rivers was a complex and nuanced part of their relationship, adding an extra layer of tension to their professional rivalry. Despite this, both continued to be influential figures in the entertainment industry, leaving behind a lasting legacy that continues to resonate with audiences today. Back in 1973, a peculiar event was triggered by none other than the actor Johnny Carson. During one of his episodes of The Tonight Show, he made a joke about a worldwide shortage of toilet paper. Little did he know that his words, spoken in jest, would lead to an actual run on stores. The joke was made during the monologue section of the show. Carson, known for his humor, quipped about a looming toilet paper crisis. He urged his audience to stock up on rolls, stating that they might not be able to find any in the coming days. It was all fun and games until viewers took his words seriously. Soon after the episode aired, people started flooding markets, fearing a scarcity of toilet paper. The news of the shortage spread like wildfire, causing panic buying and hoarding. Stores were emptied within hours, and the demand for toilet paper skyrocketed. The situation became so severe that manufacturers had to increase their production to meet the sudden surge in demand. It took several weeks for the situation to normalize and for stores to be restocked. Carson, realizing the impact of his joke, addressed the issue in a later episode, apologizing for any inconvenience caused. This incident serves as a reminder of the power of words, especially when spoken by a figure as influential as Johnny Carson. It also highlights the human tendency to panic and hoard during times of perceived scarcity. Despite the chaos it caused, the toilet paper shortage of 1973 remains an interesting anecdote in the annals of television history. In 1985, a surprising event took place involving the beloved actor Johnny Carson. Known for hosting The Tonight Show for decades, he made a joke that caused widespread panic across the country. The joke revolved around a shortage of toilet paper, which led many people to rush out and stock up on rolls, fearing they would soon face a severe lack of this household item. This overreaction demonstrated how humor could have real-world implications, causing chaos and confusion among the public. The incident was so significant that it became a noted example discussed in publications like the New York Times. It illustrated how easily rumors could spread and escalate into something far more serious than initially anticipated. A few weeks later, recognizing the gravity of the situation, Johnny Carson issued a formal apology. He expressed deep remorse for the unforeseen consequences of his joke and regretted contributing to unnecessary anxiety and inconvenience experienced by countless Americans. While some might argue that celebrities hold little responsibility for their actions, Carson's apology showed maturity and accountability. Despite being remembered primarily for his comedic talents, this particular incident serves as a reminder of the potential impact one person's words can carry, whether spoken in jest or otherwise. Ultimately, what started as a light-hearted moment turned into a valuable lesson about responsible communication, demonstrating that humor must always consider its broader social ramifications. Johnny Carson's iconic catchphrase, "Here's Johnny," was enthusiastically proclaimed by his co-host Ed McMahon every night before The Tonight Show. This phrase became synonymous with the program, and for good reason. It encapsulated the excitement and anticipation of the show, and it was a perfect way to introduce the beloved host. However, such catchphrases can attract opportunists looking to capitalize on the success of the show. In 1982, a man named Jack Allwood claimed that he had coined the phrase, "Here's Johnny," and that he had a right to receive a portion of the profits generated by the show. Allwood even went so far as to file a lawsuit against Carson and NBC. The lawsuit was based on the claim that Allwood had used the phrase in a comedy routine in the 1950s, and that Carson had heard the routine, and later adopted the phrase for his own use. Carson and NBC vehemently denied Allwood's claims, stating that the phrase was not original, and that it had been used in various forms of entertainment for decades. They also argued that Allwood had failed to take any steps to protect his alleged trademark, and that he had waited too long to file his lawsuit. Despite these arguments, the lawsuit proceeded, and it became a major distraction for Carson and the show. The case was eventually settled out of court, with Allwood receiving a small settlement and agreeing to drop his claims. This incident highlights the potential risks and challenges associated with the use of catchphrases and other memorable elements of popular entertainment. While these elements can help to make a show or a performance memorable and endearing to audiences, they can also attract unwanted attention and legal challenges. For Carson and his team, the lawsuit was a frustrating and unnecessary distraction from the work of creating a great show. However, they were ultimately able to put the matter behind them and continue to entertain audiences for many more years. The catchphrase, "Here's Johnny," remains a beloved and enduring part of television history, and it will always be associated with this classic show and its beloved host. In 1977, a peculiar legal battle unfolded around the actor Johnny Carson. This classic late-night talk show host took a stand against a seemingly unlikely adversary, a portable toilet company. At stake was the usage of a popular catchphrase made famous by Carson during his tenure as the beloved Tonight Show presenter. The dispute began when the portable toilet company started incorporating the catchphrase into their advertisements. Alarmed by this appropriation, Carson decided to take action and filed a lawsuit. While some may have dismissed it as an unusual lawsuit, Carson saw it as a matter of principle regarding ownership and control over one's creative expressions. Despite facing skepticism, the actor ultimately triumphed in court. His victory prevented the company from continuing its unauthorized utilization of the catchphrase. Yet, even after losing the case, the company remained persistent in finding loopholes that would allow them to capitalize on the popularity of the catchphrase. This incident sheds light on the often complicated and ongoing legal struggles related to intellectual property rights in the entertainment industry. Even though decades have passed since the initial lawsuit, instances like these continue to highlight how deeply ingrained cultural references can become, making it essential for creators to defend their creations vigilantly. Johnny Carson, the beloved host of The Tonight Show, was known for his humor and ability to entertain audiences. However, his foray into parodies sometimes led to unexpected results. One notable instance involved a character similar to Mr. Rogers. In this particular skit, Carson portrayed a character that shared the same name and dressed as the beloved children's television host. But instead of embodying the friendly and kind persona associated with Fred Rogers, Carson's character took a strikingly different and inappropriate twist. Instead of promoting kindness and understanding, Carson's character encouraged children to steal money from their parents to support his show. This misstep in judgment was a stark contrast to the values and messages that Mr. Rogers stood for. Despite this misstep, Carson's career as a whole remained successful, and his impact on the world of television is still felt today. This particular incident serves as a reminder of the importance of responsible and respectful parodies, especially when they involve well-known and beloved figures. The skit featuring the beloved children's television host, Fred Rogers, on the popular late-night show caused quite a stir. The parody, understandably, drew considerable backlash, especially from the real Fred Rogers. He expressed his disapproval of the way he was portrayed, and rightly so. The sensitive nature of the subject and the impact it could have on the revered children's television host was not lost on the actor, Johnny Carson. Recognizing the misstep, Carson chose to acknowledge the criticism. He understood the potential harm and the sentiment of those who held Rogers in high regard. In response to the backlash, Carson issued a public apology to Fred Rogers. This act of responsibility and respect towards Rogers and his work was a testament to Carson's character. The apology was a significant step in addressing the concerns of those who were offended by the parody. It showed that even a classic like the actor Johnny Carson was capable of recognizing and correcting his mistakes. The incident served as a reminder of the importance of respecting and acknowledging the feelings of others, even in the world of entertainment. Johnny Carson, the beloved actor and host of The Tonight Show, passed away in 2005, leaving behind a legacy that forever changed the genre. His contributions to the entertainment industry were numerous and significant, earning him a place in the hearts of millions of viewers. As the host of The Tonight Show for 30 years, Carson became a household name, known for his quick wit, sharp humor, and ability to connect with his audience. He was a true professional, always well prepared, and able to think on his feet, making for a show that was both entertaining and engaging. But despite his success, Carson himself harbored a sense of disappointment and disillusionment with the direction television had taken in his later years. He was known to be critical of the reality TV craze that had taken over the airwaves, longing for the days when scripted programming was the norm. Despite his personal feelings, however, Carson's legacy as a television host and comedian remains unmatched. His impact on the entertainment industry can still be felt today, with many modern-day talk show hosts citing him as a major influence and inspiration. In the end, while Carson may have been disappointed with the state of television in his later years, his contributions to the medium will forever be remembered and celebrated. His legacy as a classic entertainer lives on, inspiring future generations of actors and comedians to follow in his footsteps. Not long before the end of his life, actor Johnny Carson gathered for dinner with two fellow comedians, Gary Shandling and Jerry Seinfeld. As they dined, the topic turned to their shared profession and its current state. Carson expressed his displeasure with the way things were going in television. The filmmaker Peter Jones later revealed details about this conversation, shedding light on how profoundly troubled Carson was by the sensationalistic turn that TV had taken. Reality programming and tabloid journalism dominated the airwaves, much to Carson's chagrin. He couldn't help but feel queasy about where the medium was headed. Having left the industry years prior, Carson felt grateful for missing out on what it had become. His legendary career spanned 3 decades, during which time he hosted The Tonight Show and became a household name. Still, witnessing firsthand the transformation of the entertainment business filled him with regret over his departure. Carson's concerns reflected those of many critics and viewers alike, who lamented the decline in quality programming. Despite his misgivings, however, Carson remained revered as a comedy icon whose impact transcended generations. And though saddened by the trajectory of modern television, he could take solace in knowing he played a significant role in shaping its past success.